not about me. It's not about me. Hey everyone, welcome to another video, and wow, it has been a hot minute. I think the last video I posted was sometime in mid to late 21, maybe early 22, but I'm pretty sure it was 2021, and it is January of 2026 right now. So it's it's been a while. I've heard from other YouTubers that this is not the type of video that people ever want to watch, but I feel like it's been long enough at this point that you guys deserve a little bit of an explanation as to what happened and what's been going on. So that's what we're gonna do today. We'll see how this goes, but I just really wanted to share my heart with you guys as to where I went and what's been going on and what things are going to look like moving forward. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, spoiler alert, my sister Vogue and I did successfully complete our through hike of the Appalachian Trail on March 17th, 2021. We did summit Springer Mountain in Georgia after 7 months and 9 days, so 222 days total on trail. We did not take a long section of time off. We did end up getting snowed out of the Shennys or Shenandoah National Park for about 6 days because we left to resupply and the road got closed because of an ice storm. We couldn't get back in, but that was the longest period of time we were off trail. So we did through hike continuously from August 8th to March 17th. So we finished, woohoo, spoiler, but guess what? It was 5 years ago, so it's been a while. So when I started the channel, I knew, or kind of had the idea, that we were going to be hiking the AT. The purpose of the channel was never really just to be hiking videos or our AT journey, but I had thought for several years that it had been something I had been considering, and I had just kind of felt God leading me to start a channel, and we posted a few pre-hike videos, and then we really wanted to share our hiking journey on the AT with you guys and our development. What I did not expect, first off, shout out to, I think his name's Badger, who wrote the book Appalachian Trails. That is a phenomenal book for anybody who is contemplating a through hike. He also has Pacific Crest Trials for people who are more PCT oriented, but it really talks a lot about the mental emotional aspect of being prepared for the trail. And we did read that book ahead of time, and it did help a lot. And I knew it was going to be difficult, but I did not anticipate the way my brain and my nervous system were going to respond to through hiking. Physically, I knew it was going to be hard. I have struggled with my weight. You guys have seen, I had that one video where I talk about like fat girl hiking, stuff like that. I knew that physically it was going to be challenging. I was coming off of an injury. I was severely out of shape. I knew that was going to be tough, especially not having experienced backpacking before. But I did not anticipate just how challenging things were going to be mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like just the nervous system dysregulation for me and everything was just really, really rough. I did not anticipate my response, and I legitimately hated through hiking for about the first 1,800 of 2,193 miles. Actually more than that. I hated it for at least 1,800 miles of them. And now that's not to say that there aren't days or moments where you have fun and you enjoy things and you can recognize the beauty of certain moments, but I had such a hard time. I wanted to quit every single day for 1,800 miles. Then when we finished, I turned to Vogue and was like, so PCT 2023? Well, financially, that was not a thing that was able to happen for me. So we still haven't done that. But in sitting and editing the videos, I was having these massive, just visceral reactions. It was like reliving trauma. And so while I don't want to downplay people who have actually experienced severe trauma in their lives and PTSD and things like that, the closest thing that I can associate what I was experiencing was trail PTSD. Even when we were on trail, I would have, if we got off trail for a couple of days, like when we were snowed out of Shenandoah or we went home for Christmas for a couple of days, I would have severe anxiety attacks and panic attacks and things like that. And so at least a year after we got off the trail, anytime anyone wanted to talk about the trail or hiking, particularly Vogue, because she had we hiked the whole thing together and we had a completely different experience. She loved like almost every minute of it and wanted to talk about it all the time and relive it and go hiking. The second we got back, she was like, if I could afford it and had the time off work, I would turn around and hike north with Nobos. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Peace out, you go do that. So anytime anyone would even begin to mention hiking and just even randomly, like if I just was having mental flashbacks, I would just get so angry, and I was a very angry, bitter person for at least a year post-hike, and putting these videos out that I had committed to, both to the people who were watching and following along with our journey, but also to Vogue, and you know, just all of the reasons I started this channel, like it just compounded that, because I felt like I was being forced to relive being on trail constantly, and I could not deal with it. And so that was a really big reason for me why I ultimately just stopped, because I couldn't, like, we're talking one video has more than 10 plus hours worth of footage that I have to comb through. It's so many hours of work per video, which, you know, work is work, like it's fine, but I just was not in a mental place to be able to handle that. That was probably the biggest reason why, at least when I stopped making the videos, that I stopped. I just mentally couldn't handle it. I just wanted to do something else. There was also an aspect of watching back some of the videos, like our biggest performing video on this channel is our Katahdin Summit. And now, being several years removed from that, and I did move to Wyoming for a while, and I worked at a fabulous outdoor shop out there and hiked out west and did solo trips and have done way more challenging things, both from a climbing and hiking, mountaineering perspective, than Katahdin was. It's just because I'd never done anything like that before. And so watching my response and being like, do what I say, not what I do, that was so dangerous. Like, I just have to laugh at that now, because we were such baby hikers. And so I felt like a lot of, even by the end of the AT, like watching that video back, I was like, oh my gosh, like you weren't, if the weather was perfect, you weren't in any danger, you know? We were prepared, but just that element of like embarrassment and shame over that sort of stuff, and couple that with like the PTSD effect, and it was really rough. But we recently did the Foothills Trail. We did the end of days hike that Ramdino puts together every year, and we ran into some people that we met when we were on trail. And a guy, shout out 50, we were talking to him, and he had been mentioning that he wants to do the AT Sobo. So we were telling him, oh, if you do it, you need to do the Knife's Edge. Like when you get up to Katahdin, do that, and then go down the hunt trail and start your hike. You know, if you want to kind of get a perspective of the Knife's Edge, like we have a YouTube video. I said, but like don't take it too seriously, because we were such baby hikers, so inexperienced, we were just freaking out. Like I'm really kind of ashamed of my response to that. And he's like, actually, I love watching videos like that, because you can look back and see how far you've grown. And I was like, oh, he's so right. That's kind of the whole point of this, is to encourage people to get out there and try things and push themselves, and to share stories and see how far we've come and the growth. And there's so much value in sharing story, and that was the purpose of the channel, because I believe in sharing stories, and if sharing any aspect of our story can help even one person, then it's worth it, you know? But yeah, so shout out to 50, thank you for saying that. That really helped a lot. Another reason is I'm actually like, I'm a pretty private person. If you meet me in person, in real life, I will tell you pretty much anything. Like there's some things I keep to myself, but for the most part I'm an open book. But that's very different than putting things online for the entire world to see. And we do know the internet is forever. Just because it's deleted doesn't mean it hasn't gone away. You run into people stealing your likeness and your voice and footage and all this stuff with AI and hackers, and it's a scary world. And so I'm trying to not live in fear and live in obedience that this was something I was supposed to do. But it's just hard for me as a private person to make sure, and especially with Vogue wanting to keep her identity. I haven't always done the best job of that in the past, but trying to amp up honoring her wishes to keep her identity closed, and keep her privacy fully intact while still sharing our story, but also trying to respect my own privacy and other people's. Walking that line is kind of hard sometimes, and so when you it's just things that pile on that you think about when you're already having a hard time editing and putting out footage. Imposter syndrome as well. There's so many times that I'm editing videos or I'm watching videos back and I'm like, who is gonna watch this? This is like, I'm not a good videographer. Very basic editing, like seriously y'all, I use iMovie. It's not anything fancy most of the time, because when we're doing adventures, we're trying to squeeze them into really small periods of time, so we don't really have time to set up nice shots and take good shots. And so I watch this stuff and I'm just like, my perfectionism is at war within me constantly, because the product is never what I want it to be, because it's never good enough. And I have been trying to learn new things. You guys aren't going to see that for a while, but trying to learn things when it comes to editing, when it comes to filming and shooting and stuff, to make it better. But just that element of, oh, it's not good, and then who am I? Like, who wants to listen to me? Oh my word. Just all the things, like, I am not worthy, like nobody wants to take the time to watch this, but it's not about me. Like, sure, I'm the one sharing my stories and my experiences, but this is not about me. It's not, like, this is not to glorify me. This is not to be like, oh, you know, I'm so wonderful and so awesome. It's not the point of this. It is to glorify God. It is to share a story, to encourage other people and challenge other people, as well as myself, but to encourage other people and to glorify God. That's what this is about. It's just another one of those things that just was making it really hard when I was already in a bad place mentally, to combat that. Work hours, you know, having a job and trying to throw on hours and hours of editing on top of other life projects. Like, I have a lot of things that I enjoy doing and a lot of passions, and I have a small jewelry business. It's a lot to try to squeeze in, and people do it successfully, and I can keep myself organized at work. My personal life is in shambles. The work hours and trying to be focused and stay committed to this one thing that is not technically required of me is kind of a challenge. So then, if I'm struggling with all of these issues and I don't think a lot of this is gonna go away when it comes to editing, why am I doing this? And it really comes down to you guys, those of you who have been following the channel from the beginning and still ask me when you see me, and ask Vogue, hey, when are you gonna put out the next video? We want to see, like, they know we finished. So it's, you guys are a big reason of it. So thank you so much for your support and for your prayers and your encouragement and your curiosity and your desire to see more. That's a big thing, why we're doing this. Also, I made a commitment. I told you guys I was gonna be putting them out, and I didn't. I committed to Vogue, I committed to myself, and I want to prove that I can, you know, fulfill this commitment to myself. Even if it's years later, it's still important to me to try to maintain that integrity there, and to help me kind of work through my trail PTSD, to see if I can overcome some of that and to process more of the things that happened on trail. I did lose a huge chunk of my footage, so I'm uncertain what's going to be happening with that. I do have my phone and I have the corrupted files on the little external hard drives I was using on trail. And so there's a company I'm going to try to send them to and see if, even though I did write over the files on my phone, if they can use my corrupted files. I don't know what happened when I was loading things in my phone and somehow can rebuild the files. I don't know. I'm not a techie person. I don't know if it can be done. I'm hoping it can, because it really was like a video diary for me on trail, just like word vomiting and crying to the screen. And so if we don't have that, then you're gonna have several states worth of footage that's gonna be pretty much just us walking in the trail, which, if that's what it has to be, that's what it has to be. But I really was frustrated and upset that I lost that footage, and was just kind of like, you know, dramatic. Oh, if I can't have this, I can't do anything, you know, type of response, which was not good. But I'm gonna see about getting that recovered, which could cause some delays, but we're gonna see what we can do. And I'm gonna try to work through some of my mental and emotional hangups with both the editing process, posting online, and the trail PTSD by doing this. Also, I want to continue this channel because it's still something that's weighing heavily on my heart that I feel like God wants me to do. And I need to listen and be obedient to that, even when I don't really want to, because I'm scared. That's not a good reason to be disobedient. So I'm gonna work on that. I already mentioned I believe in the power of story, and if our experiences can help one person, then it's worth it. One thing that I have learned about myself since finishing this through hike and then working at the outdoor shop is I love helping people and empowering people to get outside and to challenge themselves and do things. Like, one of the best parts of my job, in addition to trip planning, was when a new person would come in and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing, help outfit me. And so getting to like use my little gear nerd side of myself and be like, oh, we want this because of this, or you can go with this, or trying to find what's going to work for them, you know, and empowering them to be like, hey, get out there. And we've taken some friends that are beginner backpackers, we've taken some of them backpacking and just like getting people geared up and excited to be on trail. And honestly, taking other people backpacking helps me a lot, because then I'm more focused on them than I am on myself. And so I have a much better time backpacking when we're taking new people. So it's kind of selfish, but I just love seeing people, like, that switch goes off. They're like, oh, I can't do this, and this sucks, but also this is awesome, and it's not as scary as I thought it was going to be. Empowering people and encouraging them to get out there and everything is just awesome. And so this is just another way of helping educate people on the outdoors. All the things that I've learned that you can learn from me through my experience, and you can watch all those embarrassing newbie baby hiker moments of me flipping out and not being emotionally regulated at all while on trail. Just because you haven't seen me for 5 years doesn't mean that I haven't been filming all of these adventures for the last 5 years. We didn't stop adventuring. Tons of footage to be prepared for, even post through hike. So there is a lot more adventure to share. Like I said, I moved to Wyoming. We've got some international trips that we've done, day hikes in the region, national parks, all sorts of different stuff. So I'm not sure if we're gonna be looking at just AT videos and then just releasing videos as quickly as I can to get you caught up to 5 years later, or if I'm gonna do an AT in a more recent video, how that's gonna look. I haven't figured that out yet. Maybe I should have done that first, but we'll just kind of see. I think we might play with some different things and see how it goes. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for being here, and I really appreciate you. We're gonna try this again and pick up where we left off on the AT. If you're seeing this video, that should mean that the next AT video is live, and enjoy. Welcome back to Wander to Wonder. Let's do this. I filmed so many of these in the last several months, and it's about darn time that I see one all the way through, edit it, and post it. What do you think? I don't know, that seems like a good idea. It's fine. It's fine.